What if you only had 10 seconds to live, but to keep living, you needed to kill? Well, that's the insane premise behind a little title called Mullet Mad Jack. Hello everyone, Zoro the Super Saiyan here, and I have been dying to talk about this epic little game here. A side note, and I hope you guys like the new PNG little dude, little avatar. This is made with AI ChatGPT, and I also used it to kind of help me get my script going. But I've wanted to talk about this game for a while, and this is just what we're doing. So yeah, anyways. From anime-style themes, 80s-style action, and neon colors, and over-the-top violence, this is a game you are sure to remember and enjoy. Released on PC through Steam on May 15th, 2024, Mullet Mad Jack throws you into a hyper-stylized cyberpunk world where you play as a mullet-wearing action hero named Jack, of course, climbing floors of a tower filled with killer billionaire robots, all to save the princess. Why are we saving this princess? I don't know, we just are, it's just what we get to do, the premise of the game. But anyways, here's the twist. You only have 10 seconds to live, and the only way to refill your time? Destroy enemies and keep the crowd entertained. By the way, this whole scenario is also some type of live stream show, and technically, it's the audience pumping likes into us to keep us alive. Not important to gameplay necessarily, but that is the lore implications, and I think it's pretty cool. So instead of slowly clearing rooms like in most shooters, this game forces you into a constant state of aggression. Stop moving and you die. However, to note, this game is not about speed, but flow. But first, before we hop into anything else, let's go over the style of this game. Everything about Mullet Mad Jack screams the 80s. The art style looks like a lost VHS era anime. Bright neon lights, exaggerated action, and characters that look like they came straight out of an old cyberpunk OVA. It feels like a mix between classic anime energy and the over-the-top action of movies like RoboCop or Die Hard and all the other epic 80 action films. Even the protagonist fits the theme perfectly. Mullet, sunglasses, quirky one-liners, and a guns a-blazing. He's basically every over-the-top action hero stereotype rolled into one. And honestly, it works. Now, what really makes Mullet Mad Jack special isn't just the style. It's the flow, as I said. This game isn't just about speed, but flow. But because of the time limit, every moment feels like a speed run. Kick a door open, blast a robot, slide into the next room, punch another enemy, make it to the next floor, or die and start again. This is the basic loop of the game. Every action feeds into the next. This is important for both your timer and the flow of the game. You're not just reacting, you're maintaining momentum. And when you get into that rhythm, the game becomes incredibly satisfying. On top of all this, the game uses a roguelike structure. Each run sees you tackling 10 separate floors. Each floor is randomized with enemies and obstacles. Different upgrades, weapons, and perks are given to you via the shop at the beginning of each new floor. These upgrades can range from weapons to abilities that allow you to gain time faster and deal with enemies or obstacles that would normally prove more than annoying. These random upgrades change how each run plays out, which keeps the game loop fresh. And since runs are fast and chaotic, dying never feels too punishing. On top of this, the game has many different difficulty settings for the player to choose from, but the design of the game is to die and try again, so you don't want to go too easy. Now let's go over some of the enemy types. In Mullet Mad Jack, every floor throws a new wave of cyberpunk robot psychos at you, each designed to keep the pace fast and chaotic. First up are your basic grunts. These are your standard robotic goons that rush you with guns or melee attacks. They're not very tough, but they can appear in larger numbers and can quickly overwhelm you and slow you down. On top of this, with most enemy types, a well-placed headshot will give you a bonus second, making headshots the way to go to deal with most enemies. Moving on, we have the drone bots. While not as tough as normal bots, these little flying bastards can be a real pain in the ass, mainly because they flock together, and if not dealt with properly, can end a run really quick. However, as long as you give them a good slide kick when they're flocked together, they aren't a problem, going down instantly. You can also obtain a perk that allows you when you slide through drones and take them down to gain extra bonus time. So all in all, not the worst to deal with. Next up we have was probably, in my opinion, the worst enemy type to deal with in the game, and that is the stupid spider robot abominations. These things are frustrating. Not only do they sometimes feel tanky if you don't hit a headshot immediately, they are surprisingly fast and can rush you faster than you can blink and fuck you over. I have had many runs into these assholes, and they are annoying. Usually there isn't many of them compared to other types, but they can be hiding in corners and right at doors you have to go through, causing them to be a pain in the ass when you don't want them to be. Next, we have an enemy type that still isn't my favorite, but certainly isn't as annoying as some. And that is the shield bot. Just a bot with a shield, nothing too special here. A simple slide kick gets rid of his shield and you can shoot him or kick him into environmental hazard. However, one thing about the shield bot that makes it actually useful is one specific power-up. That power-up is Bulldozer. This simple but sick power-up allows the player to take the shield of a shield bot and use it as they slide. This can be useful, of course, because now you can block incoming damage or use the shield to your advantage and knock other enemies out of your way. And as long as you have Bulldozer equipped, you can get all the shields you want. Just watch your shield meter. Next up, we have the Samurai variant bot. To be honest, there isn't much on this one. They can throw, ranged attacks at you, but mainly they stand there. They are immune to your gun, however, so slide kicks are the way to go with them, but they usually pop up in front of hazards anyway, so they aren't much of a problem. There is also, in my opinion, the most annoying enemy type that makes me want to die inside every time I see them. Fast, agile, chainsaw robot guy. These fuckers are hands down the most annoying enemy type by far. Not only are they fucking hard to hit sometimes, they are so fast and pop up at the most inconvenient of times that I barely ever had time to notice what enemy type it is before he actually rushes me and ends a run. It's not that he is the hardest enemy to deal with, but the chaos of all enemy types being on your ass and the time limit can throw you off majorly, making him pop up out of nowhere and end a run. On top of this, there's also hazards such as mines to deal with. Now let's move on to the rooms themselves, for the rooms themselves have hazards that Jack must avoid. As I stated at the beginning of this video, Mullet Mad Jack is built as a roguelike. That means randomized floors and random hazards. This is where you can really run into some trouble. There are a plethora of hazards to contend with in this game, from lava and acid floors to turning fan blades, gaps you can fall into, laser traps, you name it. You even at some point have to start shooting chains off of doors that are locked, and that can be annoying. And then even later there are doors that make it look like that one scene from Revenge of the Sith. Anyway, that's the danger of the floors, but now let's talk about what good the floors can do for you as the player. Well, to start, remember when I mentioned the locked doors? Well, there's a way around that. As you travel through the floors, you can find yellow vents. Usually an enemy will be guarding it or drop down as you approach. Take them out, do a slide kick, and bada bing bada boom, you made a shortcut and saved a few seconds, or in most cases, a few hits of damage. On top of this, the floors themselves are filled with obstacles that can aid you as you move from floor to floor. Let's start with the abilities and upgrades. As I mentioned at the start, each floor you will be given 3 items to choose from. This can vary from a weapon to abilities that can aid you from hazards to even some silly ones such as just having Jack being a non-stop talking protagonist hero. If you die, of course, at any point, you will be taken back to floor 1 of whatever chapter you were on, and you will have to start over from scratch. And it's all random. But as you progress, the game also has a few upgrades as you complete chapters to where you'll be able to keep a few items for your next run. Now let's move on to the floors themselves. You may be asking, what could we use to help? Well, if you have been paying attention to the gameplay on screen, as you should, you'll have noticed I've been kicking enemies into things. Just as there are many hazards for the player, there are many hazards for the robots, and all it takes is one well-placed slide kick. These hazards can include electrical panels, the doors themselves, falls from heights, laser traps, and even vending machines. Speaking of vending machines, this is another tool on the floor that can help the player if they're running low on time. The vending machines are filled with what is called life soda. I hope it tastes like Dr. Pepper. But drinking this will immediately put Jack back to 10 seconds. So point is, they are useful, and they are everywhere. Next up is melee weapons. That's right, get real close and personal for this one. Anyway, on the floors, there are an enormous amount of random tools, blades, and even VHS tapes and books laying about. And if Jack picks one up and clicks the mouse 2 button near a robot, bada bing bada boom, no more robot. This not only gives a cool kill animation, but melee weapons like Life Soda refill your time. So use them. Use them wisely. And that's about it when it comes to the floors and the hazards that you'll be coming across and what can aid you on the floors. Now, before we move on to final thoughts, I didn't know if I wanted to go over the lore fully, but after seeing how ridiculous the ending is, I want to talk about it. So, here's your final spoiler warning if you care about that. As Jack makes his way through the floors and stops the robo-billionaires, we discover a little bit more about what is going on. First off, Jack himself is what is known as a moderator, basically a mercenary for this company, Peace Corps, which is the lady who has been talking to us as we go through the floors and giving us our upgrades. Anyway, as I said, Jack is rescuing the princess. As we move on through the floors, we come across Mr. Bullet, who is the main antagonist. Once we get to the top of the tower, we realize that Mr. Bullet was using her blood to do rituals and call upon different deities. But nothing came, making him think that robots are gods. It's kind of funny because there's not really much build up to this. It's basically at the start, like you're told we need our princess rescued, and then you fight a few bosses, and then you get to the roof and it's just he's all of a sudden doing these rituals. So there's not much build up there, but that's just like it's such a like 0 to 100 so fast, but like it kind of makes sense, I guess. But it's wacky, man. But that's what's going on. This leads to the final showdown with Mr. Bullet in a fucking mech suit, but he's not very hard. After defeating him, we get the princess and we take a leap of faith off the tower, winding up in a pool below. And then, happily ever after. For all of like 10 seconds. Turns out Mr. Bullet is still alive and wants one more go. So now, in a sweet car action sequence, we fight off robots with the princess, and well, I'll just let this play for itself.
You're going down.
Let me give you a hand, handsome. I'll take care of the wheel. Good luck, handsome.
I'm dying. Everything is turning to black. There is no light. There's nothing. I win. There's no God.
Congratulations, moderator! Such a good job you did! I mean, by killing a billionaire! You win our prize! You just need to pick these amazing sneakers at our HQ! Bye! Hey, moderator. Thank you for saving me. Don't worry, his plan didn't work. To prove anything, he needed a virgin's blood. And, well, I'm not a virgin. Welcome to the Peace Corps headquarters, the sweet home of violence. This building is huge. We have endless floors. To pick your shoes, you need to go to the Department of Prizes. It's on some floor above. It's only a walk of a few minutes. See ya there. Good luck. Welcome to the Endless Tour! Well, we don't want to make this too easy. You also lost all of your upgrades. We finally got you. We are updating your best time. Good job, moderator. You are a really good boy. Like a robot that needs pings of electricity every moment to function, you need that sweet dopamine. You just can't stop playing, can you? You enjoyed all the adrenaline rush. In the last 200 years, we have disposed the common people of any sense of meaning. Propriety, land, ideology. You lost all those things. Little promises of becoming rich fast. We make you work 8 hours a day to make you distracted, to make you desperate. Desperate to find any sense of meaning. Like a robot, we programmed you to seek that meaning in some stupid shoes. You leave your car, that girl, and everything else just for a promise of meaning. Then the robots came. We promised you a better future with robots, and you loved them for a time. With all the work made by AI, we truly made all men equals. Empty vessels of endless entertainment. What the first billionaire robots understand is that they don't need to eliminate mankind. Mankind already created a stage of unparalleled serfdom. They just needed to keep the lie going. The lie that maybe you will find meaning and purpose in the next show, the next game, the next life. And you'll feel better and complete like your ancestors after chasing a deer to make a good dinner. So full of urgency, so full of suffering, natural sensations, purpose, meaning. Just for that dopamine, you will desperately keep doing this in an endless cycle, won't you? So now, slave, I will make you my boyfriend. I always wanted a strong, silent type. You will be trapped here in an endless cycle of love. Congratulations on proving that you are not like these robots, are you? To finally pick your prize, just check this box. Go ahead. You can finally pick your prize. To prove that you are not my slave, just check the box.
And there you have it. We did all this for some fucking shoes? For some shoes? Anyway, I hope it's clear what they're trying to get across here. This is clearly about both religion to an extent and the idea of gods and deities and consumerism. Of course, we get stuck now in an infinite loop, trapped by our new girlfriend overlord as we go after a pair of sneakers we may never see. And that is Mad Mullet Jack. And when it comes down to it, I have to say, I absolutely love this game. This was a joy to play. I really enjoyed it from start to finish, and it's just one of those games that I enjoy to boot up from time to time and just play, you know, because it's always random, it's fresh, and it's good, and it's just a fun time in that sense. And what Mullet Mad Jack understands better than most modern shooters is pacing. It removes downtime completely. There's no waiting, no slow movements, no filler, just pure action from start to finish. And that makes every successful run feel like you just survived a 10-minute adrenaline rush. While things are coming at you though, everything feels nicely balanced. Nothing feels too awful, except sometimes the room's randomness can get a little wonky, but for the most part, everything is pretty well balanced. Mullet Mad Jack, though, isn't just trying to be realistic, it's trying to be fun. And with its 80s-inspired visuals, fast roguelike gameplay, and rhythm-based combat flow, it absolutely nails that goal. If you're a fan of fast-paced FPS games or retro cyberpunk vibes, this is definitely a game worth checking out, because once you find the rhythm, you won't want to stop. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Once again, I am Zoel the Super Saiyan, and I want to give a shout out to another creator that gave me the inspiration to make this style of video, and that is Dexter White. He does YouTube FNAF videos, playing FNAF games, and does styles like this. These are the type of videos I wanted to start making originally when I started a few years back. I just wasn't very good at the scripting process, but watching his kind of helped put it how I wanted mine to go. So I just wanted to put that out there. That was my inspiration. And again, I did use AI to help a little bit, ChatGPT, to get the script rolling, but most of this is done by me. All the editing is done by me and everything. The avatar is AI, but again, this is all me, all my gameplay, and this is the kind of stuff I want to do along with the Let's Plays and still fighting on Dragon Ball. So nonetheless, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, all that good stuff, stay up to date, and we will catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching, everyone. Peace.